Ever since I documented the Healthy Mummy series on YouTube, where my mom, postmenopausal in her 60s, was able to release weight and lower her cholesterol on my Slim on Starch program, I have had the pleasure of meeting so many women that really saw themselves in my mom and have gone through my program as well. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to 67-year young Helga. She was a client of mine and we worked together for 6 weeks after she had gained and lost the same 20 pounds over and over again for basically her entire life. Coming to work with me, she was ready to go, and man, does it show. You do not want to miss this interview. There are so many golden nuggets, and Helga shares how she became so successful through our work together. And a special shout out to nutrition coach Mary Caroline and mindset coach Karina, who worked with me as well as Helga to help her achieve these fantastic results. Helga, take it away. All right, Helga. So we have just completed our 6 weeks of Slim on Starch together. I got to see this beautiful, gorgeous face every week, multiple times a week sometimes. Now we're heading into the master's program. So why don't you start off by giving us a snapshot of what you've achieved in just 6 weeks?
Well, first of all, I want to say the program has been absolutely amazing. And, I've achieved a 14-pound weight release in 6 weeks, which has never happened to me ever before in the history of my life anyway. And it's been truly a joy to work with you and your team. It's been absolutely amazing. So I came into the program with the intention of losing 20 pounds. And it's the same 20 pounds I've been losing and gaining back for quite a few years, to say the least. And so I wanted to just get off of that treadmill of always having this stress on my mind of, you got to lose weight, you got to lose weight. And if someone would look at me, they would not even think that I'm really overweight. But, as we all know, when you live with yourself, you know when you're feeling your best and you know when you're not feeling your best. And for many, many years, I have been on this quest of how to really understand food, how it affects your body, so that you're actually in charge of when you gain or lose weight. And it just was this super big mystery for me. And as I started doing a lot of research online, and studying nutrition has been a passion of mine, along with well-being, for many, many years. And losing weight, getting to my ideal weight, has always been the elusive thing that I was never able to really achieve. And as I sat there, this was in the end of November, beginning of December, I really started thinking about, what do I want moving forward in my life? Because I just recently retired. And I thought, this next chapter of my life, I want it to be the best chapter. And I knew in order for it to be the best chapter and the most exciting and the most fulfilling, I thought, I want to be in control of my body. I want to master food so that I don't have to think about it anymore. There's got to be someone out there that really has, locked this thing in that I can connect with. And I had never really worked with a nutritionist before. So I would find these different diet programs that were out there. I try them. I might achieve some results, was minimal, and none of it was sustainable. None of it was long lasting at all. And a couple months ago, I just started researching of things that I had not been exposed to before. And I came across this program. I was looking at Dr. McDougall's, and it was no sugar, no oil, and no salt. And I thought, and having it more be a starch-based approach. And I was like, how come I've never heard about this before? So it really intrigued me because it was something new and different. And as I kept on looking for different information, your website came up, and I started watching all of your fantastic videos, and I just fell in love with you. You were so positive, so optimistic, and so confident. And I think that's really what made the biggest difference for me, is I thought, okay, she's got this thing locked in. all of the people that she's been working with, everyone is achieving amazing results, and they're doing it in a healthy way. And the goal is really health. Weight loss is a byproduct of that, because as you start to nourish and feed your body naturally will start to adjust itself to what is the perfect ideal weight for you. And you can feel it. You can feel it in your physical body as you're watching it change week after week after week. And you also feel it on the level of your mind. Thoughts are clearer. You feel more excited about life, more confident, and and the thing is that just blows my mind is that it's so simple. It's so simple. And because it was so simple, I thought, I don't want to mess this up. I want to work directly with Emmie and her team to make sure that I have got this safety net, that if I have questions that come up for me during the 6 weeks, and certainly now going into the master's program, I have someone who's done her research, who's done her homework, who really knows what she's talking about and how this really works for men and women of every age group. And that was the other thing that, I got so excited about is, you've been working with women at all different stages of life, because what I tried when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s to lose the weight doesn't work now that I'm in my 60s, and it seems like so many things out there are really geared toward someone who's much younger. And your body's very, very resilient as you're younger, right? You can handle all kinds of weird things and extremes that you might be doing. But as one gets older, you have to be really more respectful of your body and do it in a loving and a nurturing way, and in a way that's going to be sustainable, so that you're not sacrificing a quality of life. And so this program has delivered on everything. Your team has been absolutely wonderful and amazing. I think your program is absolutely brilliant, and it delivers, So for me, it's like taking a happy pill every week when I get to be on a call with you, or I get feedback from, my mindset coach, my nutritional coach. They've been so positive and so supportive throughout the entire process. And it's been the easiest thing I've ever done. It's been the most joyful thing that I've ever done. And I'm so excited now to be going into the master's program, because this is about a lifestyle. I am so happy to say I no longer diet. I am no longer worried about losing those 20 pounds. I've also released 14. So the rest is just a piece of cake. It's just a matter of time. And it's been joyful and really fun. And I've done this over the Christmas holidays on top of it, because I really was debating for a while, gosh, Christmas is coming up. Should I do this? Yes, I should do this, because that's a time where you need the most support. And I'm very fortunate. I have a very supportive and loving family, and they were on board all the way with supporting me in whatever that I needed. And then, of course, you and your team were absolutely just amazing, smashing. What can I say?
You have been such a pleasure to work with, truly. You really have. And you said it was a treat to come on the calls with me. It was a treat to see you on all the calls. So really, we loved working with you. You briefly mentioned that you started the program at a very, what some would think is a difficult time. It was around Christmas and the holidays. And also you were taking care of your mother. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that? How you really locked it in during what could have been the toughest time to do the program?
Sure, absolutely. It was the end of October. I started Slim on Starch the beginning of December. So the end of October, my mother, who's 88, had a fall in the garden. And so she fractured her shoulder. It happened to be on her predominant arm. And as I'm now retired, I had the pleasure and the opportunity to really go live with her for 2.5 months to help her recover. And thank goodness now on this side of it, she's doing just fine. I'm back home and, doing my own thing. So during that time is really when I was doing a lot of this research and just really locking it in, going, okay, I have to do something. Because as I was helping my mom, and she's short like I am, we're like 5'1". And, I realized she's about 40 pounds overweight. And just watching her trying to navigate and adjust, since she didn't have the use of her right arm, it was just such a wake-up call for me, because I would look at her and go, you know what? If I don't get a handle on this weight now, I'm going to end up just like that. And at some point in my life where I might need some extra help, that extra 40 pounds is just an added burden on the body. And it just was so apparent to me, taking care of my mom, that I thought, okay, that's not the road that I want to go down on. I am in control over what I eat and what the actions that I take. So now's the time to dial it in. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, right? So do it now. And so as I decided that beginning of December is when I was going to do the program, I talked with my mom, because she obviously is not eating this particular way. And I wanted to support her and not add an extra burden on her. So I was able to really do this while I was taking care of my mom. And here's what was interesting. Again, this was in December. I was involved in a tradition that we have on baking Christmas cookies. And I was not tempted, not one bit, to try the cookies, eat the cookies, or anything. What I focused on was just the time together with my sisters and my mom. That was the most precious thing out of the tradition, right? And I think in all of our traditions, it's the connection we have with each other. And once I made that shift, and I helped my family to really understand it's our time together that's the most important, not necessarily the things that we're eating, I think it helped them to kind of realize, yeah, we're just so lucky to still have each other and be together. And that's the most important thing to celebrate. And, my mother would see me every week. I mean, in the first 4 days, I lost 7 pounds. So at first I had to check to see if there was something wrong with the scale, because that has never happened to me before. And I checked the batteries, everything was just fine. I'm like, okay, this is really fantastic. What a way to get started. And then every week after that, it's been 1 pound a week, which has been what you were recommending generally are the results with the program. But 1 pound a week, which is amazing to me, because that's sustainable. And I loved that it was slow, right? So, and my mom would, she was, even though she wasn't eating what I was eating, she was really encouraging me, and she would celebrate with me. And I actually got her to eat more vegetables, because I'm like, Mom, I'm making some vegetables today. I'm making this, and this. Would you like some? Or I'm making this sweet potato. Try this. So, next time I go visit her, I know she wants to lose some weight. And I think now that her arm is much better, I think she'll be open to taking the next step, so that she can also live her best life ever. She's very active. She's very independent for an 88-year-old. She's doing amazing. It's the only area that I think she could really focus on. So I was very fortunate, I think, in the time that I did it and where I was, spending time with my mom. And even though my preparation wasn't the ideal, because I wasn't in my own kitchen with all of my own supplies and stuff, I was able to do it. And it was not hard. It was really, really great. It was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And now that you're back in your own home, this is a billion times easier. So if you do this, if you get started doing this when things are really crazy, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of success, because you've done it during the craziest point of your life. You learned during the craziest part. So now it's a piece of cake.
Totally. I feel like I've been doing this forever.
See, and that's what I want to chat about, because you're such a beautiful woman. You glow, you're gorgeous, you've lost the weight. And I think that people watching this might think, oh, this is so easy for her. She just did it and it was so easy. But there was a lifetime of struggle that came before it. So I have two questions. The first is, what would you say to the person who's watching this who says, I'm around the same age as her, I'm moving into retirement, but I don't know, she just makes it look so easy and this has been such a struggle for me. I don't know if this could work for me. Let's start there. What would you say to that person?
The first thing that I would say is it's all based on your commitment. I had hit a point where I just went, I don't want to go into another year of having to worry about how am I going to lose my weight this year again, right? And so I made a commitment. And when we had our consultation, I was in hook, line, and sinker. I thought, this is it. I've had enough research. I've listened to all the doctors. I've listened to what you've said. I've checked all the testimonials. I didn't need to see anything else. I was convinced, along with my own research over the many, many years that I've been researching nutrition. I always thought that I was eating healthy. I mean, I ate everything organic. I cooked my own food. I really thought I was eating super healthy, and maybe compared to the standard American diet, I was. But then why was I packing on the 20 pounds? Why could I not lose that when I was eating really healthy? And that's what really made the shift for me. I thought, okay, I've not tried this. This is the last go around for me, and I want to make sure that it was really healthy, and it was. So I would say for anyone who's in the same boat as I am, or thinking about this, make sure, go into it being fully committed. When you're fully committed, and that comes from the inside, it doesn't come from your mind, it comes from your heart. There's your heart and soul connection. That's the most important thing, because your mind can talk you in and out of everything. And if it's something you think you should do, you're probably not going to stick with it. But when it's something that you need to do for having a greater quality of life, and that's on the other side, there's a different level of commitment that you have, right? Because it comes from your heart and soul, that this is your time. Now is your time to really make a difference for yourself and show up for yourself like you never have before, so that you can enjoy the rest of your life and you don't have anything holding you back, right? So yes, I would say definitely go for it. You're going to receive so many more things that you never even thought of as you take this step forward. And all it is just one simple step. Just say yes. Just
So
yes.
beautifully said. So beautifully said, Helga. And you came in so committed. And there's that saying that whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And I think many people could watch this. And like we've said, you're so eloquent, you're making it look so easy. And they would say, well, it's great for her, but I'm different and it's not going to work for me. But that was an emotion that you once had because you were eating healthy and you were still holding on to weight. So maybe think, is there something wrong with me? I don't know. But then joining this program, you said, you know what? This is going to work for me. I'm diving in 1,000%. You came to all of the calls. You were on it. You were committed. And because you believed that it was going to work, it did. And you got rewarded in that first week with that crazy first week weight loss.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like I said, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, really? This can't all be water weight. You think it's water weight? And it just never came back. It just kept on going down and going down 1 pound a week. It's fantastic. Fantastic. And it's not hard. I know I make it sound really easy. I think because I was so committed and I was like, okay, I'm an intelligent woman. I know that I can do this thing. And I just made up my mind and I just took one meal at a time, one day at a time. The program is laid out so beautifully and so simply that really it's effortless compared to other things that I have done, where you had to weigh your food or count your calories or do all these crazy things, right? Whereas this is laid out really simply and easily, and all you have to do is just follow the directions. And you've got Emmie and her team as a great net to catch you if there's times you may fumble a little bit.
Well, you started to answer my next question for you, because you've tried so many things in the past. I remember when I first read your application, I was very impressed by the resume that you put forth of all the different diets that you've done. Tell me what makes this way of eating different than what you've tried in the past that is going to make you stick to it in the long term.
It's the simplest approach, right? There's no crazy foods you have to find. You don't have to count your calories. You don't have to weigh your food. There's no special food. It's the simplest, which is, I think, why it's going to be so sustainable. And I think that's an important message for everyone is, when you're looking at how are you going to nourish yourself? How are you going to nurture yourself? Because nourish and nurture go hand in hand for the rest of your life. You want something that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be easy to do. I don't put too much thought and effort into my meals because now they're just so easy. They're just so easy to put a meal together that is both nourishing and satisfying, and I know is going to be really good for me because I feel great. My energy level is there. So I physically feel good. Mentally, I feel really clear, which is an amazing feeling. And I'm excited about life. I'm excited about what I can focus on the next stage, right? Now that I've got the nutrition thing locked down.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I want to dig into your primary foods. But what behavioral patterns around food and weight loss and dieting are you leaving in the last chapter?
Oh, everything from, I can never have that food again. And that I would binge, right? I would eat a lot of that food and then I would restrict myself and go, okay, now I've had too much of that. I'm not going to be eating that ever again. So this binge and this cycle is something I definitely have left behind because I no longer have that mindset. We can eat anything. Right? It just depends on, if you want to have something now and then, it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. The human body is very forgiving in so many different ways. But so it's no longer this burdensome approach when it comes around nourishing and feeding myself. It's just, I've simplified everything, and that makes me the happiest. When I look at this next stage in my life, the one word that comes up time and time again is just keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Simplify your life. The simpler and easier you craft your lifestyle, the more freedom you're going to have.
Would you say, or maybe this is a better question, how often were you thinking about weight loss, food, body image before we started working together? Was it a daily thing, a weekly thing, a monthly thing, seasonal?
It was a daily thing. The older I got, it was more of a daily thing. And along with that would come, why can't I figure this out? Toward the end there, I was thinking, well, maybe this is how my body is going to be now, right? Genetics run this way in the family. So I think maybe this is it for me. And, had kind of given up hope, to be honest with you. I have tried so many different things. And while they worked for short term, they never worked long term. And they were too difficult to maintain, too complicated. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to give it up altogether. So I was kind of at the end of my rope when I found you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so glad I did.
I am so glad you did too. Thank goodness.
Oh my gosh.
So most of your adult life was taken up by your career with work and then the weight loss thing. That was probably what was circling in your mind for most of the time, right?
Yes, right.
So now you're retired and you figured out the food thing. So now what goes on in your mind?
Well, this is a good question. I am being comfortable not knowing yet, because I decided that this year was going to focus on an inner and outer transformation. And it started with nutrition. The next phase is going to go into exercise. How am I going to move? What kind of movement am I going to do on a daily basis? So I figure once I get my mind, my body physically fit and everything is going, I trust the next thing, whatever that next thing is going to be, is going to show up. But at least I'm going to meet it with enthusiasm and excitement, right?
Yes, I could not agree with you more, Helga. One of my favorite sayings is we are human beings, not human doings. And I find that many people will work their whole life, get to retirement, and then they're bombarded with the question, what are you doing in your retirement? What are you doing in your retirement? I just worked my entire life. I'm going to relax. I'm going to be a human. And now your mind is free and you can enjoy this time and let life come to you and flow through you and spend time with your family and just be, as opposed to doing or researching the next weight loss thing. You can finally relax and be a human.
Oh, I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy about that because I don't think I've ever just enjoyed being, so it'll be new for me. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You said it so well.
What else? What else do we have to chat about?
I would say whatever challenges anyone faces as they begin a new journey is to not resist them. Find a way to make those challenges serve you. An example for me would be when I was staying with my mom, she has a microwave, right? And I would warm things up in the microwave going, well, I could fix my dinner faster than she did because of all of the prep work that I had done, right? And that is key and critical to your success, is really preparation, because then it throwing together your meals is just so easy. And so now that I'm back home, I don't have a microwave. And I could use that as an excuse or a stumbling block going, well, I don't have a microwave. Maybe I have to buy a microwave. And I thought, you know what? I'm keeping my life simple. I believe that whatever I need, I already have. And this has been really powerful for me in lots of different ways. Whatever I need, I already have. And it just has me look at things a little bit differently to discover that. And so I thought, okay, I don't need to buy a microwave. Let's see, what do I have? Oh, I can steam my food to warm them up. And it's been fantastic. It's as easy and as simple as when I was using the microwave. So I have everything that I need. And when you go through a challenge or an obstacle, instead of trying to fight against it or wish that obstacle wasn't there, I would say embrace it, because within that obstacle, within that challenge, is an opportunity for you to discover something about yourself, for you to discover that you can solve these things with no problem. Very, very easy. And it may turn out to be better than what you thought it would be. And oftentimes it does. So it just gives you a step up in a little bit of a different way. And that's been really great. So just going with the flow of life, that whatever life presents to you, hidden within that is a gift. And it's a portal, it's an opportunity to awaken and understand yourself in a different perspective. But you can do this. You can do this.
You can, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And I love that saying, what you need, you already have. It's not just a physical thing, but it's an emotional, mental thing as well. There's the book, The Power of Now, which I adore. They open up the book by using a metaphor of, there's a homeless man who's sitting on a box and he's asking for change as people go by, and nobody's giving him change. And one man walks up and says, I can't give you anything, but why don't you open up that box that you're sitting on? And he opens up the box and there's a bunch of gold in it that he's been sitting on for all this time. And it's the same thing. You know, the answer is within you. I didn't go into your body and do all of this for you. You did it yourself. I just helped you pull it out.
I mean, really, it's amazing how your life can transform in as little as 6 weeks when you give your whole heart and your whole soul to the process. You just throw yourself in, and every day you just show up for yourself, knowing that you've got people that are there that you can go to ask questions, that can give you emotional support. Whatever you need is in there for you. And so you couldn't be in a safer place with a group of overqualified individuals, and who can really help you achieve the goals that you want, whatever those goals are. The thing that I love about this program and how you've organized it and put it together is that you're going to be able to live a happy, healthy life, right? A happy, healthy life. It's not just about a short-term program that you're going to take to achieve a certain amount of results. You have within there all of the keys that are needed to live a happy, healthy life, right? Where you can enjoy holidays, you can be with friends. You don't have this burden that you have to carry with you, all the time. So thank you, Emmie.
Thank you. You've been such a joy to work with, truly. So thank you for doing this interview. Thank you for sharing your story.
If something I could say or do could speak to someone like the other women in the testimonials that were speaking to me, I felt so many of them were saying things that's how I feel. That's a struggle that I've had. And I think it was because I could identify with them that I was like, they were speaking right to me, which was, again, just a confirmation that this is the direction that was right for me. And I'm so happy today. So happy today. And like I said, the road is clear. The road is bright. And I'm just continuing to go on this journey and excited to go have the adventure of what the master's program really looks like and seeing what's going to be on the other side.
If you are still watching, comment Happy Helga, because she is a very happy Helga. And if you want results like hers, go to healthyemmie.org and apply to work with me. I love you, honeys. Thank you, Helga, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.